Okay, good day, boys and girls and Stingray parents. We're going to take least common multiples one step further. And we're going to look at a real practical use for least common multiples. In fact, we call this sometimes least common denominators. Some of you already know where I'm at. When we add and subtract fractions, it is very important that the denominators are the same. We can't add or subtract until the denominators are alike. Therefore, what do? We take the denominators, which are just numbers, we treat them as numbers, we list their multiples until we find a multiple that's in common. And we want the lowest one. Let's practice a few together, and we'll see how it's done. Boys and girls, I'm back, and we're going to take a look at a real practical use for our least common multiple, which in the past you may have heard it used as the least common denominator. So let's take, for example, we have two fractions that we want to add together. Say it's 5/8 plus, let's say 3/12. Okay. Now, if we want to add these two fractions together, we know that we can't add fractions together unless they have what? The same denominator. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to find the least common multiple between these two denominators. So I'm going to begin listing. If I have 8, I know that I can have 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, and I'll stop there. And then let's take a look at 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Hey, I can stop right there. Okay. 12 and 8 have a common multiple of 24. Okay, so that's our least common multiple. Okay, so now we need to rearrange this expression as something over 24 plus something over 24. Okay, now what times 8 will give me 24? Well, 3, right? So I know I need to multiply 3 times 8, and that'll give me 24. And what I do to the denominator, if I want an equivalent fraction, I must do to the numerator. 3 times 5 is 15. So there is my equivalent fraction. And if I take a look at 12 and 24, what happened to 12 to get it to be 24? Well, I multiplied it by 2. Okay, and if I multiply the denominator by 2, if I want an equivalent fraction, I need to do the same thing to the numerator. So I'm going to take 3 times 2, and that'll give me 6. Okay, and there is my equivalent fraction for that. Now I can add, okay? And when we add fractions, we know that our denominator stays the same, and we just add our numerators. 15 plus 6 will be 21. So my answer is 21/24. And it doesn't look like we can, actually, wait, we can. We can reduce this, we can simplify it. We can factor a 3 out of both. If I divide this by 3 and divide this by 3, that'll give me 7/8. Okay, and that is our final answer. Okay, so a real practical application or use for finding our least common multiple is when we add and subtract fractions, because we need to get the denominators to be the same. And that's all.